Welcome to the first edition of the wine testing community groups. You've already seen how to taste wine. We did that in the previous video, which was the first one. This is the real first one on the actual wines themselves. I'm going to do less actually on the tasting of the wines per se. I'm not going to taste one in front of you in this moment. What I'm going to do is give you more information, background, why I'm doing these wines. So our first wine, as you should know, is the Scharffenberger Brut Rose Excellence. Is what we're looking at. This is wine number one. I love my bubbles, as many of you will know. For those who don't know, who have never been introduced to me, bubbles is one of my fortes. I love them. This one, which is Scharffenberger, this was created in 1981 by John Scharffenberger. And yes, the first question you always ask is there a relation to Scharffenberger, those awesome chocolates? And the answer is yes. He actually sold his business fully in 1997 and put all his time and effort into the Scharffenberger quality chocolates, which he is still, to my knowledge, still doing. He actually sold his businesses a couple of times, one to the Champagne House, Pommery, then fully to Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. And then in 2004, he sold it to one of my personal favorite champagne houses, which is Roederer. Champagne Roederer, which many of us would know as being the House of Cristal. They are amazing quality house, and the quality of Scharffenberger ever since they took over in 2004 has increased in leaps and bounds, is really what we're talking about. And so what we're saying here is this is a Mendocino vineyard. They also have their Roederer estate in Mendocino as well, is where you're sourcing all their fruit from. Mendocino, the region, the county, is a very, very good, cool climate, makes really good bubbles, makes cool climate Rieslings, cool climate Pinots, cool climate Gewürztraminer. So ideal for making a traditional method, a champagne style sparkling wines. And this is what this is. So it is a traditional method. What we mean by that, in very, very simple terms, is this bottle I have in my hand, the second fermentation was physically done in this bottle. So what we do is we source our fruits, we make a dry base wine, generally relatively low alcohol, about 9.5–10% alcohol. We then put the juice, that wine, that still wine, into this physical bottle. We add a little bit of sugar and yeast, put a cork or a crown cap in, and then let it re-ferment. That re-fermentation creates the bubbles. After that re-fermentation has been done, you are then left on its dead yeast cells for about 2 years. This one does 2 years on terroir, is what we'd call it. So it gets laid flat and it settles there for about 2 years. The minimum in champagne is about 15 or 18 months, so they've done more than what would be classified as champagne. As we know, this is a rosé, so it's a Pinot Noir and Chardonnay blend. It's about 55% Pinot and 45% Chardonnay. It also undergoes malolactic fermentation, which also means that you're reducing some of that acidity and giving a nice soft roundness in that rosé style. So that is basically what we are looking at and discussing. So flavor-wise, this is a rosé. This is a bone-dry rosé. There is no sweetness in this little baby. So it should be nice and dry without malolactic fermentation, which is converting malic, green apples, into lactic, dairy products, dairy acids. So you're getting a little bit of a creaminess. There's still enough acidity there to give you the balance. You're very much looking at sort of strawberries, cherries. Things that I would look at personally when I'm tasting this wine is the size of the bubbles. So imagine like Coca-Cola, Pepsi. You can choose whichever brand you like, bubbles, and then see how soft or elegant. Are they as big? Are they as soft? That's what you're looking for. Secondly, I would also be looking at how long those flavors linger after you've swallowed, because I know none of you are spitting. I'm not trying to kid myself. The longer this bubbles last, the flavors, those strawberry flavors, some of that green citrus flavors, those characteristics, the longer they last, the better the quality it is what we'd be talking about. And then just, do you like it? Is it good? This is normally 26 bucks, is what you're looking at. So it's not an expensive bubbles. I just think it's great value for money. So that is why this is my first choice. I know we're doing seasonal. That's the idea of this tasting this time around. Personally, sparkling wines, traditional method, every season is sparkling wine and champagne season. So that is why we picked it. So give it a try, see what you think, and then we'll move on to wine number 2.